10.
Conservation advocates from across Michigan spent the day at the state capitol, raising concerns about declining bird populations and the habitats they depend on. Welcome to News 10 at 5:30. I'm Ann Emmerich.
And I'm David Andrews. This is a concern we've brought you before, specifically with birds of prey. But now we're seeing a decline in numbers right in our own backyards.
News 10's Rachel Fulton spoke with conservation leaders and advocates about what they hope lawmakers will do. She joins us now live in studio.
Yeah, David and Nan, advocates say one of their biggest goals today was securing $2.5 million for wetland conservation, which is in the governor's proposed budget. They say that investment could help expand habitat restoration across the state. Each spring, the skies over Michigan fill with hundreds of thousands of migrating birds. But conservationists say the numbers behind that migration are heading in the wrong direction.
The 2025 State of the Birds report was released, and it's showing that all types of birds are showing declines, including our waterfowl populations, our grassland bird populations.
That report is part of what brought conservation advocates to Lansing Wednesday. Members of Audubon Great Lakes met with lawmakers, pushing for policies they say protect the habitats birds rely on, especially wetlands.
When you invest in things like wetland conservation, you get a huge return back from that investment. You get benefits from flood mitigation. You get benefits from your water being clean.
These groups are also working to restore more than 120,000 acres of habitat across the state.
Some of the activities that we're doing on the ground include invasive species treatment, as well as wetland enhancement.
But the impacts of habitat loss are already showing up close to home.
Even our common bird species, when you're thinking of American robins or chickadees or your migrating warblers, the actual amount of those birds is decreasing dramatically.
Fenner Nature Center's Dylan Lallemand says one of the biggest misconceptions is that birds can simply relocate when land disappears.
Having large, intact green spaces that includes a good diversity of habitats, your woodlands, wetlands, and prairies right there, is going to be essential to the birds for their survival.
With Michigan sitting along a major migration flyway, conservationists say the decisions made in the legislature could shape the future of bird populations across the nation. They also say protecting habitat doesn't stop at policy. Small efforts at home can make a difference as well. David and Ann, back to you at the desk.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And those at-home efforts can include putting in native plants that attract the insects that birds feed on, creating shelter for wildlife, or even improving habitats in your own backyard, neighborhood, or at your kid's school.